What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys, of course, with another anniversary video, and of course, this one is going to be dedicated to Digimon. Yes, the Digimon trading card game. You know, the one I left a couple of weeks ago because no one liked the content that I was putting on the channel. Yeah, that one. So, I'm going to use this video to speak out on Digimon. Whether it is loved or hated, I don't care. Because why? Digimon was part of this channel. So, any input that I have or anything that I did on the channel will have an input or have a place in it. So why I have now decided to leave the Digimon trading card game, what are my plans moving forward, and what other aspects of it, because I was a fan of Digimon series, just alongside of Pokemon and parts of Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. When I found out Digimon was reviving its card game, I definitely wanted to take a look at the revival of revitalization of, I know I'm saying this word wrong, but the revitalization of the Digimon card game, because Digimon card game has been out since the late 90s. It just, unfortunately, because of how its mechanics were, a lot of people did not keep up with it, and eventually and unfortunately the original version died out. I know they tried to do a second one based off of the card game that they had put out on the PlayStation, but I heard that one had a lot of hijinks to its methods as well. So a lot of people stayed away from that as well. It's a very weird thing with the history of Digimon in its card game, which I'm not going to go into because then that means I have to deep dive in, and I don't want to deep dive. But when I found out that Digimon had revived itself again for another wave of trading card game, um, this one seemed a lot more solid. It had a more solid rule base. It had a lot more solid things attached to it. Artwork was always on point because every time I seen the Digimon card, its artwork was definitely 100% on point, um, no matter what it looked like. And it's funny enough, they even used the older contents from the older Digimon card games to then do new Digimon uh, to do on the new cards and the artwork that they have from the older games. So it was nice to see that nostalgia as well as them remembering that older cards, the artwork for those older cards, and making sure that they were able to use them. Because the one big thing that I know about the Digimon card games revitalization for 2020 was it was supposed to come out around the time that the Digimon reboot series was happening. Digimon Adventures SP or PSI. Sorry. So PSI was coming out, which was just a retelling of the original Digimon series. Well, the original 8 kids from the Digimon series. They took them on a different path, introduced a lot of different enemies, kept some of the older enemies, even kept some of the older allies, and really changed up a lot of things um, for the series. There hasn't been, um, once that happened, they used that as a way to market the cards and a lot of the mechanics and stuff. It did really, it was really rocky at first, but then once things started to line up with the pandemic, a lot more things started to get easier, with everyone doing things online and being able to connect online. It made things a lot easier for people to have tournaments and stuff like that. So here I am a few years after its initial release, and I legitimately want to play this game. I want to play this game because of the fact that I am a fan of the Digimon card game. As you guys have seen, I've done videos on majority of, if not every, one of my favorites. We had a lot of the 02, 03, 04. We had Mirai that I showcased as well. I didn't showcase any decks for Gilmon because honestly, Gilmon cards are very expensive because, as you notice, most protagonists are very expensive, especially the main guys. And if you weren't, and even if the main guy, you had to pray and hope that you didn't have a waifu Digimon attached as well, because then waifu Digimon also tend to be very expensive. I'm looking at Mirai from EX6, who I still do not have any copies of that Mirai. I was offered one, but even with the deck that I had, I still needed more than one in order to play Mirai into Mastemon. So um, about between 20, yeah, about 2022 and 2023, when I had my move, my surgery, and everything, um, I did still keep Digimon in tow. Um, Perhaps, more so, I got more into Digimon when all the stuff for Mirai and them came out. So then at that point, I was already playing Yellow Hybrid. I wanted to invest in Mirai, which I did because I bought the structure decks when they came out, um, which I think that was 2022. Then, yeah, that was 2020, summer of 2022. Then I invested into the side sets that came out along it, because the only cards that were very expensive at that time for me to get were Holy Angemon, who was used in the deck, and Lucemon, who took a while to get, but then I eventually did get two Lucemon and two Holy Angemon, um, respectively. I also ended up getting everything from the structure deck that I needed, and then in addition to the structure deck, a couple of side cards here and there. Because that's mostly what I did with a lot of my decks. Get a lot of the main pieces that you need, focus on the side stuff later, and just watch the prices go down. So when the prices do go down, then I was able to pick up what I needed and then go from there. So while a lot of people who probably watch my videos and question, where is this card, where's that card? Because baby, a lot of those cards are very expensive, so that's why I did not get a lot of those cards. That's why I steered away from a lot of them, because they were very difficult to obtain. For instance, Death Exmon and Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. While both were very, very expensive, even in a regular base form, which both of them at their time were peaking at like $70 to $80, I did not want to invest in more cards and trying to get more of them when there was no need for those decks that I was running at the time that needed them. Then I wanted to find alternatives just because I didn't want to spend that additional money. So I guess it's part of the reason why I got a lot of dislikes in my videos. But that stems to another part of the reason why I decided to walk away from Digimon even more. Was when I came back to my hometown in the Bay Area, I had decided to check out my new local. Well, I have a locals. I go to my locals every once in a while. But the reason I started to back in 2013 was, the beginning of 2014 was simply because it was a Digimon locals. I entered. I did participate, as many of you know. That was part of the reason of what fueled a lot of my tournament videos as well. And throughout that entire time, the pattern that I started to notice was that I was building decks that unfortunately were not in the range of things that were being played. So yeah, I did unfortunately fall into the factor of I'm building these decks for decks that I'm building. I have these cards that I'm building a deck for, but the deck itself overall isn't fast enough to keep up with a lot of things. Even though I waited for new support or I used newer cards to fill those situations, unfortunately, yeah, I was on the short end of the stick and things did not work out well for me. So I eventually ended up building different decks to try to see what things would work, what things would stick. Nothing worked. My win ratio was 0, and even at a point, I felt like I was being laughed at because of my win ratios being, well, absolutely nothing. So, because of that whole situation, I stepped away from a lot of Digimon events that were going on at that time. One of the bigger ones that happened, as you guys remember in the video that I did, or maybe I talked about it, was Double Typhoon. Because I was always being asked, hey, do you want to participate in Double Typhoon? The seasonal events and stuff was going on, and I honestly at that point was like, no, I'm taking a break. I want to just focus on some other things, um, and that's eventually what I did. My last set that I participated in was BT16's um, BT16's what is it, observation, um, beginning observation. It was basically the set that reflected on DNA Digivolution, heavily on DNA Digivolution. Um, its main focus was Imperial Dramon and the rest of the Digimon from the O2 series, in their movie Adventures O2, The Beginning. So it was a lot that really told from that interaction. Um, I went to two locals at that time that were having the events. That was pretty much my last event in terms of playing Digimon, because at that point I didn't want to play anymore. Um, right after that event, I said, okay, well, I'm really struggling with a lot of things. I'm still not knowing most of the cards in this game. And what was so funny was that while one shop I was doing extremely well, the other I wasn't. So it really did put another damper on me in terms of, yeah, I really just don't know this game like I thought I did. Which is funny because I never claimed that I did know this game. I always figured just stay in the lane of the decks that I did play and I should be perfectly fine. So when that occurred, I decided to just, you know, say, take a step back, because I did at that time, I was going through some things and I wanted to know about EX6. So when EX6 was supposed to drop, EX6 never dropped. Well, it did drop, but certain stores did not get EX6. And as many of you know, that was, Master Damon's revival set. It quotes revival set because Master Damon was only around for like maybe a few tournaments, and then everyone dropped Mastermind because there was a lot of issues with trying to build Mastermind. Which, like, if I do a video of that, I want to do a video separate to talk about those issues. And right after I did all this stuff with Masty, I had just eventually said, well, what sets are left? BT17, which I got the stuff for Red Hybrid. Um, there was Digimon Liberators, which I wanted nothing from either one of those because they were focusing on new mechanics I really did not give any crap about. And from what I've heard, neither one of those two are doing anything right now. I think it was Zephymon and Cinderellamon. Yeah, one based on the Vortex in the the essence of Zephyr. The other one was based off of Cinderella, which, from what I've been seeing, not doing too well with all the other things that were going on. So I did not invest in that. I did wait for Special Set 2.0 because you guys see those videos that I did about them, where I really wanted to focus on Emperor Greymon's revival, then reviving into um, yeah, Emperor Greymon was on one end, and then looking into um, ancient the Spirits of Wind, ancient Kazemon and stuff like that, because I did build a deck based off of the Spirit of Wind. People did like that video, which thank you for liking that video, because I did put a lot of thought and effort into it. But my video that went for Gunimon, the Spirit of Fire, in going for Emperor Greymon overall, did not do too well. And like I showed in many of my posts on social media, I said at this point, if no one's really going to like my Digimon content, no matter how much of it that I try to put the efforts into, then it's fine for me to walk away from it and then not, have this hassle or burden. So that's initially what I did. That was part of the reason why I ended up quitting uh, the Digimon Card Game. And why I say part of it was because the other part of it was that there were a lot of people who I don't think understood. Um, I if I don't feel comfortable playing in certain situations, there's no need for those people to, you know, pressure me into it. especially for someone who wants to take, just has a casual aspect of the game. Just because, oh look, we're having ultimate tournament, or oh look, we're having this and that, that's perfectly fine. I never entered a Digimon event outside of what I did locally, and I kind of wanted to keep it that way. I enjoyed what things I prospered, while I guess more people were just better off at the game in their own liking. And I don't think a lot of people respected that. I got a lot of people criticizing me about my choices of not wanting to play. Like, I get I'm bad at it, so there's no need for there to be any more push or effort into it. I took enough advice to try to build something different. That didn't work out too well. I was not affording to net deck someone else's deck because I feel like that's, not how I wanted to take Digimon in terms of the long term. I wanted to create my own deck of its own. And even then, when I did take the inspiration from other people's decks and how they built them, it still didn't work out for me. So that in total there was enough for me to say, okay, well, things are not working out. You know, doing the stuff for YouTube at a point wasn't working. Even trying to take advice, which I did ask for at that point in time, I didn't get none. So I, in turn, just walked away completely from it. I was going to go get the Amber Memory Boost for Mastemon. I was considering getting Jade as well for uh, Jade and Great Memory Boost as well, because Great was going to be good for playing with what was it? Oh, Mirage Galgamon, Terriermon Lockmon, Double Typhoon. If building up a variation with Alliance, then I remembered I'd have to go get stuff from sets that I did not want to put my efforts into, so that was out of the deal there. So I just figured just go get the Amber Memory Boost and enjoy stuff that way. So I haven't picked up the Amber Memory Boost because I've been dealing with being sick for the last couple of weeks. So I had decided, okay, well, eventually when I feel a little better and I have some money together, then I'll go get my Amber Memory Boost, because I only need a set anyway. And then I don't know what I'll do with Mirai, but at this point I really don't care. Mirai, well, I'm not going to build any more decks or stuff like that at this point in time, so Mirai can just stay where she wants to. Whatever build I have of her is. If there are going to be new cards for Mirai, 9 out of 10 I'll just go ahead and pick those up, but I don't have any sight of me returning, and that's perfectly fine too. Um, just let me sit, play my casual deck, and just enjoy the fruits of the money that I spend on this labor, or at least someone else's. So, with that in told, I mean, that just synergizes everything in the last year of Digimon. And with everything that has happened, yeah, there won't be a plethora of Digimon content that I'll be releasing. I did want to point one more video out for Digimon. It's not a deck profile, and it's kind of going to be similar to this video in the structure, but it's going to be something different, just to pay homage to Mastemon one more time before when I say because I've already said my adieu, because I did not do a deck profile for Mastemon, which is perfectly. Oh no, I did do a deck profile, and then people didn't like it because I don't have mommy daddy money to go get Mirai's, so I decided not to um, re-upload that video. I'm just gonna no, I re-uploaded the video, but I put the video on private, and I'm just gonna keep it that way, just for my emotional senses and the things that I wanted to keep together, and just move forward from there. So, with that said, this is gonna wrap up the video attaching itself to Digimon for my anniversary. Um, Thank you guys so much for those who did like the content that I produced with Digimon, but unfortunately things just didn't pan out the way that I don't think myself or you wanted. There are other Digimon content creators. I'm sure many of you will enjoy them, and best of luck. So, with that in total, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as many of you do. and I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can be informed of when I upload more content. Socials are in the description box below, and you can check out the playlist for previous video and previous content. Thanks everyone for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care.